Alright guys, so tonight we're going to do a review on a company called goldpanshack.com. I did get this off of eBay. I don't have the eBay seller number right now, but the reason I did order this off of eBay is because I had problems with it ordering through his website before. His name is also Adam Lewis. This is a 5-pound bag. It's $15 on eBay plus $9 shipping and handling. We're just going to sort through this real quick. Sift it down. Nothing special here. Just want to separate the rocks quick. Anything larger that might perhaps be in there. Oh no. Whoops. Well, that is skill right there, guys. Gold Pan Shack. It's out of Pleasant Hill, Tennessee. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get through this way now that it's wet. Probably not. So what we're going to do is we'll just let that continue to get wet. Dump that in there. I'll get some scoops of that out here in a little bit. Can't believe I let that tip in the water, but oh well. Alright. So, this first one was a little bit of larger material originally. Again, we're going to stratify that material. Stratify it off the top. Like some jade maybe or something. And I guess I'm going to start saying this at the beginning of the video because there's so many idiots out there. Obviously, I don't have time to pan everything down 2 to 3 times in front of you. If you want a 7-hour video, great, let me know, that's what I'll do. But most of the people that are stupid enough to bitch and complain about how my panning technique or that, you know, my kids were helping out pan, well, you're idiots and you don't watch the videos anyways, because then if you would, you'd know that I go through all of the material at least a second time. If I've missed something in the second time, then I'll even go through it a third time. But I'm trying to pan as efficiently as possible for you guys so that you can see some panning techniques. But obviously I don't have 7 hours, and I'm sure you don't either, to sit and watch how I pan. It's just to give you an idea of what's going on. You know, everybody talks about pan a tablespoon at a time. Again, if you've watched my videos, you've heard me tell you to pan a tablespoon at a time. That I wouldn't suggest dumping this much material in a pan here or there. But again, there's so many idiots out there that instead of actually paying attention to any of the videos, they have to try to be intelligent, and they end up looking like idiots anyways because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So, to those idiots, don't know why I bother talking to you, because you're not watching the videos anyways. But I do go through everything 2 to 3 times to make sure I'm giving the seller a fair shake. Again, 2 to 3 tablespoons at a time should be what you're panning. I pan more than that so that we can catch it on tape. I don't videotape the entire process after I'm all done. You've seen videos like that, videos on goldgetters.net or goldgetters.biz is a company that you've seen me do an entire video from start to finish on how I sift, how I classify things down, how I stratify, use a Miller table. But again, I'm trying to give you guys an idea of what's in the bag at the end. Never have I told you anywhere am I trying to be a professional, an educator, a teacher. We're trying to share some experiences online. So, again, I'm so fed up with you idiots out there. Turn it off now if you're an idiot. Don't watch any further. If you think you are a gold god, you shouldn't be watching this anyways because you're out in the creeks getting it on your own. And if you are watching this, you're a fake anyways. So, you know, I'd love to call out some people by name, but I'm going to leave that as it is. Obviously, guys, this is the second review you've heard me probably vent about it in. I have no more Paydirts on order. I do have some hard rock order crush, but I don't know if I'm going to be doing anymore. I'm sick of dealing with idiots and the sellers too. You know, oddly enough, these big, huge companies that sell Paydirt have no problems with the reviews I've given them. There's a company that I just did that should be up before this one, Gold Strike Adventures. He's an honest seller. He tells you that you're going to get 2 times spot. So if spot is at $45, you're paying $50 for a bag. You're probably going to get less than a half a gram, which is okay. He did the work to get the gold. You know, it's not rocket science, as he says. It's rock science. So what somebody adds into a bag for you, again, we're armchair prospectors, guys. I don't know if any one of you have taken the time to go out into a creek bed, to dig it down to bedrock, to go through the hassle of lugging out the overburden, to test pan, to prospect, to spot dig, to do everything it takes to find gold. We want to find gold in the bottom of 5 pounds. Well, guess what? The reality is you're not going to find gold in 5 pounds of material unless somebody's on the gold and has done that hours and hours and hours of work for you ahead of time, which technically you should be paying for because they, again, have done the work. This came right to my doorstep, ladies and gentlemen. You know, none of us want to be ripped off, and that's the whole point of this channel, is to try to save people from those bad sellers that are out there. But at the same time, if you think you're going to retire 5 pounds of Paydirt, then get a different hobby. This is for enjoyment. This is for fun. I talk to a gentleman probably once or twice a week, you know, that started off. Oh, there's a nice little flake. That started off buying Paydirt. Oh, I gotta get my stiffer bottle to test his equipment. Why would you do that, some people ask? Well, because you do that because you don't want to get out in the field and be using equipment that's letting gold get away. If you're spending those hours, you guys can see that right there, that edge piece. This is really, really light sand. Again, from Tennessee. Not a lot of black sand in this so far. We're just going to keep scooping this down. Again, tablespoon at a time, guys. Hope I can sound as stupid as some of the comments I read. If not, just let me know, guys. I can try harder, try to sound dumber, try to sound more like some of these idiots that want to tell you they're a god. I was all laughing. Like I said, you guys are creating quite a following and sharing my videos. They're all around. You know, we're just under 1,000 friends right now on Facebook. The channel's only been around for about 3 months. We have well over 15,000 views. you know, almost 40 videos up. The comments are coming in. Everything that I designed this channel for, you guys are being great about. The other thing, let's just talk about real quick. What we're doing here, we want to make sure, because gold is, some people say 9 times, other people say 17. The most common number when you look at it is 19 times heavier than water. The gold will sink to the bottom, but the only way that'll happen, and why people talk about how much material you're using, is you need to saturate that material all the way through, so that all the way down to the bottom, you can see as soon as we wash away some of that water, this kind of forms and it starts sticking together. Well, gold's not going to drop to the bottom in that kind of material. Not until you get that water in there and you're working it through and you saturate it completely, because the gold had a chance to move down and you've been able to stratify those lighter materials onto the top. And again, you can see that by how you're panning. Those lighter materials, they just wash away. You go back in, you stratify it down, give it some taps, let that water work, do its job. Again, I like taking in and out of the water. Some people like that side-to-side motion. I am going to be, none of you guys will probably want this or not, but I am going to be doing an instructional thing that'll be available on eBay in the next few weeks, that talks about all those different methods and getting you know, your gold out of your black sands. I know some people that even in their concentrates alone, every little bit of black sand that they've ever had in their life, they still keep, because they know there's fine flour and micron gold in it. Black sand is great, but it also traps gold. It's gold's worst enemy, or your worst enemy, I guess you could say, of getting the gold out. But again, some people do that side-to-side wash. They do it until they see the black sand at the back, lift it up, wash it down a little more. Some nice color for rocks in here. Like I said, don't necessarily know what they are, but we'll look at them a little later. We do have that one piece so far of a flake of gold. Pans, maybe I can go back to talking about things instead of being so frustrated with idiots. You know, there's a couple different pans, obviously, that are out there. People wonder a lot of times, what's the difference in a pan? Why is one pan more expensive than the other? There's a nice little flake here too. Maybe you guys can see that. Suck that out. Pans on themselves, again, we'll maybe save some of that for that video. Different types of pans. Obviously, this is the turbo pan underneath. That's a whole different pan on its own. I'm going to do a video here. The streams and tricks are finally started to thaw, so there's a nice bed not too far from here that I'm going to try to get into to get you guys a nice little review on the turbo pan to show you what it's really for, prospectors. And then you have, a Garrett pan. You can see the difference here between the ridges and the actual riffles. Another pan. This is an Eastwig pan. The same type of riffles as the Garrett, but then it also has a little bit different of a vented system for those finer sands on the side. The one thing that I don't like about 10-inch pans that I do like about the 14 inches, you can see this little lip here. It catches as a natural trap for you, kind of like a sluice would do. It stops whatever is going to go from going over the edge there. Here when you go to the side, that's kind of the object of using the vents on this and the vents on here, is you don't want that gold slipping right out of that edge. There's nothing to really trap it into place there. So anybody from Tennessee out there, go ahead and comment here. I really am going to need to go back. I ordered this a long time ago, and I've just been busy with the baby. But this really, guys, to me, seems like beach sand. With a couple pieces of gold added into it so far, but not going to speak to that, I guess, just yet. Just because I've never panned anything from Tennessee before. You know, and that's the other thing, guys. I think if you've been a follower of me, a subscriber, you've watched my other videos, you know I'm the first to admit when I have no idea about something. I like to put questions out to you as well. You know, I don't know what the soil composition is like in Tennessee. You know, this is very, very fine sand. It's mixed with a little bit of gravel, it looks like. You know, a couple little nice rocks here and there. Nothing, though, 1/8 of an inch or bigger. You know, so there's really not a chance for a nugget probably in this stuff, I would say. And quite honestly, at $15, I really wouldn't expect a nugget. You know, if you're buying completely unsearched gravel, that's a whole nother story. But the other thing with that is, you know, if you are buying truly unsearched gravel, you have to understand paydirt and concentrates. Concentrates have been run, and we've had this conversation, through a sluice or a trommel or a high banker or a dredge. And they've basically taken all that heavier overburden and the tons of paydirt that people run through those machines to give you what's left at the end. A lot of times when people are selling those, they're selling you the bottom halves of their concentrates. They're going to keep the gold nuggets. You know, I had somebody email me one time asking about what they should expect out of a dredge concentrate. If they pay $500, if they should expect to get 2 to 3 ounces out of that. Well, first of all, I do think you're an idiot if you think that you can pay $500 and they're going to give you $1,400 worth of gold. You need to be checked out into a mental institution. Do I think it's possible? Yeah, sure. That 1 in a million chance that you find a nugget that they didn't see that was a rock if it's truly unsearched paydirt. But in concentrates, absolutely not. There's no way. You know, I mean, if I was a paydirt seller, there's no chance that I would be selling that good a quality stuff. That would be going in my pocket, not in yours. You know, again, just me personally. If you knew how hard it is to get into fine gold, I think that's really where the differences lie. You know, we all see Mr. Hoffman, right? And the Dakota Boys on television showing us, you know, how much gold they get in their pans. Well, if you've really watched the shows, all the gold panning and gold prospecting shows, oh, this is a nice little pan here. Couple nice little pickers here. You know, and if you saw the hole, to get 200 ounces of gold, they've probably moved 400 to 500,000 tons of material to get down to you know, those 10 pounds of concentrates that they're going to go through at the end. So where I was going with that, I'm sorry, kind of long and vented, is if you are buying true unsearched paydirt, you could find nothing. You could find a huge nugget, and that's kind of the excitement of buying it. But if you're buying something that people added stuff into, which I would say is probably, yeah, see, I hate stuff like this, guys. When sellers do this, maybe this is just me being a jerk, but, you know, these are little shattered pieces of pyrite in here that you can see. And just my experience with pyrite, pyrite cubes out bigger than that. to get it that small, this has been ground, this has been packed down. So guys, apologize, don't know where that cut out. God, I hate this camera. I was venting so much I stopped paying attention to the time frame. I did take a little bit more in the sniffer bottle. Maybe I will empty that out just so that you guys can see what was in there. Like I said, I don't know if when the video cut out. Not a lot of gold so far. This is what I found so far right there in the edge. Those few little flakes. The conversation that we were having, whether anybody was listening to it or we were past that point yet, when the video stopped, was about Paydirts versus concentrates. So again, just know what you're buying. If you're buying Paydirt, you shouldn't be paying as much for actual true raw Paydirt. You know, if people do add stuff into it, yes, then you should be paying a little bit more for the gold. But if they're telling you that they just dug this up right out of the ground and put it in a bag for you, then it should be you know, considerable to their wage of taking the dirt out of the ground. You know, a lot of you too argue with me about return on investment. That buying Paydirt shouldn't be an investment. Well, my whole concept to you is this. Yes, return on investment is the only way to standardize basically what we've done with the reviews, is how much money did you get back on how much you put into it. Buying Paydirts, no, shouldn't be an investment. But at the same time, you know, people argue because they should be viewed as entertainment. Yes, you're right. When I go to a movie and I pay $10 to go to a movie, I get something out of that, and I don't expect to walk away with anything. When I pay $20, $40, $50, $100, $200 for a bag of Paydirt, I expect to get gold. Good or bad, that might not be the case. You know, you can get gold, you might not get gold. But I don't buy Paydirt just to play with. I can go shovel gravel from outside. So what I argue with those people about is that gold has an inherent value. And that value is back up on the rise again. Obviously down from years ago, but starting to climb. It's so volatile, though, it fluctuates every day. And so, you know, there's a guy out there named Ben Codwell and Mr. Swiftwater who, you know, argue with the fact that Paydirts are not an investment. Well, if I took the gold and threw it away when I was all done, then I'd say, yeah, it's completely for entertainment. You know, but when I go to that movie, unless I'm breaking the law and filming it from my chair, that's the intended purpose of the movie, is for me to go there, to watch it, and to be entertained. This is entertaining, panning, absolutely. Prospecting is even more fun. You know, you can go through 100 pans, 200 pans before you even see a speck of gold. That's my own time. That's my own money that I'm putting into my gas tank, that I'm taking up my time to go out and shovel in the creeks or to do whatever I might do. Here, if you're charging for a product or a service, then it better be a decent product or service that's reliable. Don't sell it if it's crap. Again, I tell you guys this all the time. I could go out in my backyard right now and I could shovel you up black dirt and sand, you know, right out of the ground, and I could sell it to you, call it Paydirt, say it's great, and it has nothing in it. And there's not a chance that it's a gold-bearing Paydirt, because where I live, there's not a lot of gold. It's very, very fine, flowery gold. You don't see nuggets or pickers or flakes. You see little placer deposits that are next to nothing. But that's part of what we have to do in educating ourselves as well. You know, a lot of pay dirts that you guys have seen, I bought off eBay. Well, look at seller feedback. Look at what people are saying about their goods. You know, the one thing I would condition in saying, and this might be, you guys might disagree with this or not, I know a ton of people, you know, the one thing Gold Paydirt Reviews has done for me, I'll reveal my name here at the end of this next few videos, because like I said, I'll start buying under a different name, going back through people. But the one thing being Gold Paydirt Reviews has done for me is really allowed me to meet some interesting people in the industry, and some honest people, and people that have offered to take me out and take me prospecting, or to do this or that with. I got distracted by that piece there, sorry. But I guess where I was going with that is the thing that has done for me. I lost my train of thought completely, guys, sorry. Oh, I know where I was going. Done for me is I've met a ton of people. You know, I know a guy in Wisconsin that does adventures in Alaska. He has 3 claims in Alaska. I know another guy in Minnesota that has a claim in North Carolina. Another guy in Arizona, a very rich gold-bearing area. Arizona has a few claims in Arizona, but also has claims in Washington, in Alaska. And so the one thing I would caution, and I guess I could really get in trouble saying this, but I don't think it necessarily needs to come from the state that they're shipping from to be from that area. And the only reason I say that is because, like I said, area that I'm in, where my claim is at, that I just purchased, I need to drive almost 20 hours. I'll be visiting it 4 or 5 times a year. You know, but there's nothing around here for that. I don't know. Maybe let me know. Maybe I'll start selling pay dirt once I have my claim all settled and have stuff to bring back home for the winters. But I guess, like I said, where I was going with that is ask those details, ask those facts. You know, where are they getting their material from? Look at the feedback. You know, look at more than, oh, great, fast shipping, or, oh, nice gold. You know, if somebody says nice gold, well, that's great. If there's their first pan and they see 3 flakes of gold and they leave feedback, and then they don't finish it, you know, we're just letting these sellers off, and we're telling them, oh, great job, you're giving us a great product, even though you're screwing us in the end. Usually, when I leave feedback, ooh, maybe I don't want to divulge that because that'll give away. Well, when I leave feedback normally, I won't do that for this customer. How's that? I usually like to tell you, or tell the people that are reading the feedback, either to look at the review that I've done, and I put in a link, or I like to tell people exactly what I got out of what I bought. And sellers get mad at me all the time for putting that information in, but it's giving them an honest and accurate opinion of what to expect. I don't know, guys. Not a lot of fine flower gold in this stuff. And for as fine of material as it is, I really would have thought, if anything, that's what would have been in here is real fine flour gold. Like I said, guys that are from Tennessee out there, give me a shout in the comments here. Tell me what the ground is like there where you're prospecting from. Also, a shout out to Gold Prospectors Space. If you haven't joined it, go join it. It's free. They have weekly podcasts. Great people there that are always available. And love giving out information and helping people rather than trying to tell you they're the king of the world. Alright. So, last little pan here. Overall, unless this pan looks great, I don't think this is going to be a very highly rated Paydirt. I actually canceled, like I said, had a problem with ordering through the website a few months ago, canceled the transaction, and oddly enough, I didn't want to let this seller get away just because, I don't remember why, but the way his advertisement claimed, you know, really talked about how wonderful the stuff was and how great his company was. And, you know, I even talked to him on the phone back then, and he told me he sells, you know, 500 bags a week and got hundreds and hundreds of satisfied customers. And I really couldn't believe that. So when I did see them on eBay, and you can find them on eBay, I'll give you the username, but right in the picture, I think he actually violates eBay policy, but right in the picture on the bag, taped to the bag, he's got the www.goldpanshack.com website right on his bag. So if you've seen that bag, that's who we're talking about, aka Austin Lewis out of Tennessee as well. Like I said again, no fine flour gold at all. These are all that I've seen so far are all big pieces of gold. There's no way that this isn't a mixed bag at this point, unless this last sampling you know, has a ton of flour gold at the bottom of it. I'll retract that statement, but other than that, I'm going to say this is definitely a mixed bag. And again, if you guys are just tuning in, because people like to skip around in videos so much, I will pan through the material more than one time to make sure that Gold Pan Shack gets a valid and honest opinion and review. I really hate being as sarcastic as I've become. But when you guys are dealing with crooks, that's what happens. And there's nothing in that pan. So so again, with shipping and handling, let's see, $15, $9, $26 with shipping and handling. That's what we got out of it. As you can see, these are all nice little pickers. There's no small flour gold in here at all. So that little corner there might weigh out decent because it's got some size to it. So we'll get that in the sniffer bottle and then in the pan and dry it out and get you a weight here in a minute. All right, we'll be right back. Alright, so I did go through all of that material again. This is what we got. Hardly anything there. 0.1 grams. $4 worth of gold. So as far as I'm concerned, with gold Paydirt reviews, I would give the gold pan shack or panning shack. Again, I'll get all this information in the bottom of the video, but I really don't care because I don't think they're a very good company. I would give them return on investment 33%, basically, a little under that. That's without the shipping. Actually, if we had the shipping in there, they're less than 15%. And so overall rating, I would give them about a 2 out of 10. Overcharged on shipping. Again, this is a mixed bag to me. There is no fines, there's no flour gold. All of those are nice sized pieces of gold. So basically he's charging 15, 20, so 10, about $200 per gram of gold, rather than $45. So making a killing out there. Again, maybe I'll keep going, guys. I do have some crushed rock and crushed ore from Nevada that I want to get to. I have probably 60 pounds of that to crush. And I always kind of wanted to see what hard rock mining is about. But gold pan shack, 2 out of 10. I would stay away from them. Until next time, guys, may there always be some color in the bottom of your pan.